What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So what I want to do right now is I want to touch on the fourth stimulus check, but I also want to address Social Security benefits and where we're seeing there could potentially be a boost coming very soon, because lawmakers are actually saying how people on Social Security pretty much got screwed, and that 1.3% cost of living adjustment just wasn't enough. But I'm gonna bring all that to you in just a second. First, I just want to thank you guys for always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. Now, let's get into the update. First, President Biden is working on slowly getting this infrastructure package deal done. Now, he came out last week, he said we have a deal, we will see. But what I want to address is this infrastructure package is essentially the first hurdle. Once lawmakers can get over that hurdle and start discussing not just the package, but can we actually pass it? Will it pass through the House? Will it pass through the Senate? And will President Biden sign it before a budget reconciliation bill is even brought forward? Well, the answers as of today are honestly unknown. But the reason why I want to mention this is because many lawmakers are saying that no, we will not vote in favor of a bipartisan bill until the budget reconciliation bill is pretty much created and passed by the Senate. So again, it's just a bunch of hurdles, a bunch of talks, but again, this is what is going to slow down any potential stimulus and any potential assistance to the American people. But here's some good news. The White House has been celebrating the results of the $1,400 stimulus checks for the last 3 months, ever since they passed. However, the celebrations, at least according to multiple reports, this is both from the Washington Post and CNN, they are stating that the celebrations are now over. Many are now saying that another round of stimulus checks must be included in the next infrastructure package discussions. At least they need to be part of the main package. That is what they're saying, okay? These are coming from experts that understand where the economy is going, how it's bouncing back, and everything in between. Now, what I want you to understand is that some are also saying that stimulus checks aren't needed because the economy is bouncing back, people are going back to work, and they just don't need that money anymore. But reports from the Washington Post and CNN are stating that now is the time for another round of stimulus. They say this because the White House was extremely happy with the results of the $1,400 stimulus checks. We saw a 42% decline in food shortages, a 43% decline in gauge of financial instability, and we saw a 20% decrease in anxiety and depression. I know personally, when I was younger, I wasn't depressed, but I was always anxious. Like, how much money am I going to have at the end of the month? That's something that many financial experts are saying you cannot have as you get into your 20s, your 30s, and 40s, 50s, and older. You should have that financial stability. So if you're always worried about, do I have enough money to go and put gas in my car? Swipe that card. Is it going to work? Nope. Okay. Driving home. Do I have enough money to go and buy food? And if I do, how much food can I buy? Can I buy enough food for the next 2 weeks? Maybe 1 week? Maybe the next 2 or 3 days? It's something that many people are worried about. And let me ask you, has there ever been a time over the past year, just over the past 1 year since this pandemic started, where you have gone to a store, you went to go buy something, or maybe you didn't even go to the store because you were so anxious and just worried that you would be declined. You could not afford it. Let me know down in the comment section below. I know over the past year, there's been times where my card just gets declined. It just, being honest, my card gets declined. I'm like, I know I have money. I know I have money in there, and I feel anxious. It's like, oh no, what did I do? And so then I pay for it with cash. And so I understand where a lot of people are coming from. There's been times in the past where I didn't have money. I couldn't afford food when I was younger. Okay, so I understand. And this is what the White House has been celebrating. But according to reports, they're indicating that roughly 20.3 million people don't have enough food to eat. And this report is for the month of June. The month of June. That's this month. So lawmakers are stating that the $1,400 stimulus checks that should have actually lasted the American people at least 3 months, well, now what we know is they lasted the American people 3 months, because now we're seeing that food shortage again. Many people, they cannot afford food. They cannot afford their rent. They cannot afford to go on a vacation and go do all these luxuries. They cannot afford the essentials and medication. So, some say we need to provide an additional stimulus check. This is one of the reasons why many Democrats say a stimulus check should, not that it will, it should be included as part of the main package, the main infrastructure package. Again, stimulus checks are not part of infrastructure, but again, this next infrastructure package, the American Families Plan, is more stimulus than infrastructure. And so some are saying, let's just throw it in there. But again, we will see. But we do know the American people, especially here on this channel, are saying we need more. We know President Biden has been saying that he wants to see more. He wants to see an additional push, more relief to the American people. Because if he wasn't wanting this, he would not care if the American Families Plan would even pass. There's a lot of money behind this. Congress understands how far behind millions of Americans actually are at this time, and they know that if more relief was given, it would desperately boost the economy. It would really help out the American people, and it would get many people back on their feet. And yes, many people who do not need the money would probably go and blow it or spend it on something they don't need, or maybe just invest it into the stock market or cryptocurrencies, or just put it into savings, right? And the lawmakers say that this shouldn't happen. People that don't need the money shouldn't take it. But at the same time, if you write a policy, if you write a bill that allows people that don't need the money to have the money, well, it's kind of on Congress then, isn't it? So here's something else we know is happening. According to multiple reports, SNAP benefits are going back to normal for millions of families. And right now, the hunger issue is the biggest crisis, according to many people. They say that hunger is especially high for Blacks, Hispanics, Americans without a high school diploma, and individuals. And this is true, okay? I know for me personally, if I was to go to a store and buy a meal for just myself, it would cost, especially a healthier option, it would cost a little bit more per person buying it for an individual than if you bought it for a family of, let's say, 5 people. I have a family of 5. And so for me to go to the store, buy, let's say, a pack of chicken or steaks or whatever, it would actually be cheaper per person if I have a family of 5 as opposed to just paying for one person. And that's one of the reasons why, at least according to some health experts, they say it's more expensive for an individual to eat than a couple. So hopefully you guys are having decent meals. You're not eating out a lot, and hopefully you're at least able to feed yourself and your family, because that is one of the biggest issues. That is a huge issue. That's also one of the reasons why, for my family and I, we always try to donate any food that we buy that we just aren't going to eat, or maybe it's for a party and we just don't cook it, or pastas and canned foods and all this stuff. We go and take it to a food bank, because honestly, they do deserve it. They need it. And right now, with the food shortage all across the United States, if we can help out, honestly, we should. Now, here's something else I want to bring up. Democrats want to pass more assistance to the American people. This is something that we know. This isn't a secret. This is something that they've been telling us, well, for a long time. If they didn't want to pass more assistance to the American people, the American Families Plan would not be in the discussion. However, when this passes is the big question. Now, I keep bringing up the fourth stimulus check, or talking about survival check, or additional assistance to people on Social Security and college students and just individuals, people that are in need. But right now we know that lawmakers, they want to pass more assistance to the American people. The problem is this American Families Plan is going to pass on the heels of the American Jobs Plan. And at this time, we don't really know what's going to happen with the American Jobs Plan. We do know Republicans aren't very happy with Democrats, specifically President Biden, for what he had to say on Friday. But it seems like, at least for now, all those issues are squashed, at least according to the reports. Again, and I try to tell you this all the time, I'm not the expert. I'm not sitting in the White House. Okay, I'm not a White House or congressional aide. I don't get all these different reports and all this inside information. That's not me. For Congress, I'm reading all these reports. I'm looking at the news. I'm seeing what lawmakers are tweeting, and so I just want to keep you updated on that. I try to bring you these updates, put them all together. Okay, again, I'm not an expert. I bring all these updates together so that you guys don't have to spend hours and hours doing your own research, which is essentially what I do. I spend 2 to 3 hours on every single video doing my research, and then I put it into a simple condensed format so that you guys can easily understand it. Now, here's what we know. What we are hearing is that the bills aren't going to pass by July 4th. This is what Nancy Pelosi initially stated was her deadline, or her so-called deadline, right? But we are hearing that this now has the potential to be very close to passing sometime in July. If not, we could see lawmakers stay in Washington and actually have their recess postponed or pushed back temporarily until they reach an agreement. But some are saying that right now they expect all these to pass by September. But as to how much this is going to cost, as to what the size of the package, who is going to get what, the different provisions within the bill, we don't know that. But what we do know is there's going to be more bills. There's going to be more talks on additional stimulus to the American people, as well as how can we better pay for this without causing a massive amount of debt to us here in the United States. But here's something else that I want to bring up. No one at this time is really talking about the Social Security boost. But yet a lot of people are talking about how, the elderly, retirees, they're feeling the impact of the increased prices, but their income has stayed the same. What we know right now is that many are actually pushing President Biden. They're telling President Biden that you should make good on your promise of the $200 per month boost for Social Security recipients. Right now they say that a lot of people on Social Security have to choose between buying food, paying for medications, and paying their bills. And the decision is making it very hard, because how do you decide if you need a life-saving medication versus, well, I need food to eat and I need a place to live? Well, the only good thing right now for people that are renting is you don't have to pay your rent if you're struggling, because there's an eviction moratorium. But yet the problem with that is your debt just keeps stacking up, and eventually you will have to pay that back. And so right now some are saying, well, at least that's a good thing. But that good thing will create a bigger problem in the future. And so others are saying that right now choosing between medications, food, and rent, and paying your bills is actually causing many people a lot of anxiety and deep depression. And that goes back to that 20% decline in anxiety and depression. Well, it declined, and now it's ramping back up. And so this is where many are saying that lawmakers need to step up and they need to provide for the American people. Now, let's get back into Social Security, because there is talks, not from President Biden and not from the White House, but there are talks. There are talks from people like Senator Sherrod Brown. He is urging Democrats to take up his bill to increase Social Security benefits to the federal poverty line and allow recipients to get back to work, which would actually subsidize their income, which would be great. He also is trying to push for other things as well. We also know that we have the Senior Citizens League. They are working with Congress, at least according to reports, to increase benefits to retirees of at least 3% and guarantee that it's a minimum increase per year of 3%. Not like the increase we saw in 2021, where it was a 1.3% cost of living adjustment. They say that is not enough. But on top of that, we are also seeing that right now they want to attach the cost of living adjustment to the consumer price index so that nobody is left behind and nobody is left with less money just because prices of products actually increase due to inflation. We also know just yesterday, CNBC reported that earlier that the cost of living adjustment for 2022 is expected to be as high as 5.3%. That means that roughly $83 per month is what you'll see as an increase to your Social Security benefits in 2022 as an average Social Security beneficiary. So that could be very big. That would actually be a substantial boost to many people. And just so that you kind of get an understanding, In 2009, the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, was 5.8%. So this would be the next highest is actually 5.3. So that's actually pretty big. But again, all these things as of right now, at least according to reports, all these things are going to stem off of what happens with this infrastructure package. And many people are looking at this as, okay, this is the first step, the American Jobs Plan, then let's get the American Families Plan, then we can pass the 2022 federal budget. And so they have these different steps. But the problem is, as of right now, we're seeing a lot of delays. So as we know more there, I promise I'll fill you in on all those new updates. But I just wanted to fill you in on this information because we are getting more of an insider look as to what is going on with the talks and discussions of the fourth stimulus check. How are those talks impacting the other discussions on Social Security, other discussions on maybe we're going to see Medicare, maybe we're going to see additional SNAP benefits, maybe we're going to see, or maybe not, some type of housing reform. We know there's going to be money in the next bill for affordable housing, but is this also going to include President Biden's his plan of possibly including $15,000 or $20,000 for first-time home buyers, possibly as a grant or a tax credit? Again, we don't know, but all these things are currently up for discussion. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday afternoon and Monday evening. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask them down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.